Hey onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of the One Man Podcast. It's always free and available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, and many more, as well as on the web at onemanpodcast.com. So please, whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe. While you're at it, give it a rating, leave a review. Why? Because it helps the podcast, and I'd really appreciate it. How about that? What about social media? Search One Man Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with what's going on there. Get a little extra content for yourself. And finally, to get in touch, please send your emails to contact@onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it on the podcast. That's the deal. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Demers.
I'm K. Trevor Wilson.
Hey, it's Krista Allen.
Hi, this is Rick Mercier.
What's up, guys? This is Paul Verzi, and you are listening to the One Man Podcast. Yeah!
My name is Josh Williams, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 167 for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. How's it going, onesies? What? Another podcast on time? This must be a new leaf. Josh is turning over well. I'm trying. I just had a great time in London with my pal Red. I'll tell you guys all about the trip and all the fun different things that we got to do. I also did one last display for vacuums in Cornwall. Oh man, doesn't that sound glorious? Cornwall vacuum displays, guys. Some guys have all the luck. But I did that. I'll tell you about the drive, all the different things that we did, and then I did some good stuff since I've been home. I've only been home for a day, but I've done good things for myself whilst home. But as always, I like to include my pal Red whenever I'm on a trip. So Red's here with me via technology. She's on the phone and on the line. Red, thanks for doing the podcast with me.
Oh, hey girl, hey.
Hey girl. Hey. Have you been practicing what your opening line would be on the podcast all day?
No, I literally just came up with it.
Oh, oh, hey girl, hey.
And then I said literally.
Oh, that's true. That is also a thing that chicks say. Yeah, well, we had a good time, and we'll talk about that in a second. I want to tell everybody about the magical, wonderful. I basically did the Cornwall gig because they offered one to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the
because
steaks.
beggars can't be choosers.
Exactly. Well, there's nothing right now. So now since then I have received quite a few different offers for work. And I can talk about that a little bit later on, but at the time, the only thing that was out there was me going into Best Buy, setting up, Tinco vacuum displays. So that's what I was doing. And they offered me one in Cornwall.
One step up from selling Bibles.
Selling vibrators? No, I heard you. Bibles.
Bibles.
I heard you. But selling vibrators would actually be more fun. But can you imagine if a guy that looked like me showed up at your door? Hello, ma'am. I'd like to talk to you about the exciting world of vibrators. Door to door vibrator salesman would be, may I come in? Absolutely not.
If anybody would do that, it would be you.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd do it for the story. What do you do for a living? I'm a door-to-door vibrator salesman. Can I come in and give you a demonstration, ma'am? Door-to-door Brazilian waxes. That's another thing I could do. Door-to-door. I got my tools out in the car. If you want me to bring them in, we can do this. So yeah, I went all the way to Cornwall, not bragging. And when I got there, it was like a small Best Buy. I remember driving there thinking like, is Cornwall even big enough to have a Best Buy? Like, I don't think they have one there. And it was like a super, super teeny Best Buy that had no appliance section. When I got there, none of the stuff had been shipped. I'm looking, I walk in, I'm like, fuck, I don't even know where I would put this. There's quite literally, like you walk in to the left, there's like a Geek Squad desk. Right ahead, there's like a customer service desk. And then to the right, there's some TVs on shelves. That's kind of the whole place. And I don't mean like aisles upon aisles forward. I mean, right in front, there's a few racks of cell phone accessories and then the customer service desk. It was very, very small. And, I talked to the manager for a while. We couldn't find all the shit. And I'm like, I really didn't think that there was even a store here. I call all my people and they're like, oh, there's a little thing that says signage. Like I would drive all the way to Cornwall, put up a sign and then fuck off. But that too had not been shipped. So I basically got paid to drive to Cornwall wander around their back room with the manager, and then go home. So, yeah, good gig.
works.
Good gig. I got to say,
Yeah.
there's a worse way to spend 2 hours and make $50, you know? So,
Through that.
yeah, not bad. So yeah, I did that. And then I came home and I fucked around for my Wednesday evening. Actually, no, that would have been Mika's birthday. I think I gave him a little shout out last week's podcast. And then, that was it. I came back. I kind of relaxed a little bit. I did some reading, and then I got ready to head on down to your guys' place. So I did.
Didn't you have like dinner with your mom or something?
Did I? Oh yeah, I did. Fuck, Jesus Christ. How the hell did you know? Yeah, I did. My mom wanted to have dinner in her back, like that gazebo I built for her, but we couldn't get together. I think 'cause she's still working, so we couldn't get together until like later on in the evening, and then it was like too hot, and she didn't have like the stuff ready for the thing. So she's like, "Well, let's have dinner. Let's just go out." And she had suggested Five Guys, and I fucking dig Five Guys, so I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that's it. I went and I had dinner with her, and then I came home and I started prepping for packing. I got to make a list and stuff. 50% of the stuff I brought to your place, I never ended up using.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But hey, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I'd rather pack it and unpack it for no fucking
Yeah, I
reason.
mean, when you're driving, when you're flying, that's when it's.
Yeah, no, I stress way more when I'm flying because I still have so much shit to bring. Like I brought all my podcast gear to London too. So like I had a lot of stuff to bring. But at least I used it while I was there. So yeah, blah, 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 blah. Packed my shit and I drove to London. I did not get breakfast because I was in such a fucking hurry to get out of the house. The house was busy. Bathroom was busy. I couldn't get the hell out of here, at 11 when I wanted to. So I left at noon. Luckily my ETA would have still been exactly the same time. But, when I got to Kingston, I had to get some fucking Taco Bell, let me tell you. Which
Ew, Canadian Taco Bell?
I'm sure it's are you the one who advocates US Taco Bell? Because
It's so much better.
I'm sure it is. It gives you diarrhea.
It's so much worse for you, but it's so much better.
In what way? Go for it. Hit me.
What do you mean? So
It's so much better.
worse?
So in what way is it better? Is it more meat?
I
Is it
don't
more
know.
options?
It's just the junk they have in it.
So you're saying
The worst
they
the
don't
worst
add?
things that the Americans allow in it makes it better.
So you're talking about strictly flavor, not that there's
Yes.
more in
Oh,
it
yeah, no,
or
strictly
quantities or
flavor.
anything like that. Just straight up
No.
flavor is better.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll try it sometime next time I'm in the States and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like loose stool. I'll go to a Taco Bell
Mhm.
and try it. Cause I know the McDonald's in the States. Here's the thing I noticed about burgers in the States. There's way more fat in them.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
like when you eat burgers here, it's like, it's lean ground beef. When you get there, I think they're giving you regular ground beef. So like you see
yeah.
the fat and stuff. You bite into a burger and you see all the big balls of fat hanging out of the fucking meat.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That looks gross to me.
hmm Yeah, I know. I mean, we're talking about drunk 20-year-old me, and that's the opinion that I'm going off
Oh,
of.
well,
but
I had a conversation with someone like an
but
hour
when you're
ago.
drunk, like, that's when you've got the most discerning taste.
You think so?
When it comes to fast food.
Oh, I don't know. I think I eat the worst shit when I'm drunk. I'm not like, I don't turn into a fucking food critic when I'm
That's
drunk.
when all
I'm
your
just
like
I don't
cravings
want.
come in. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, but you got to
Taco
work.
Bell right
You got to work with what you got when you're drunk. Because when I'm drunk, it's usually 2 a.m, and I'm like, "There's pizza, McDonald's, and that's it."
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
that's in Canada, but in the US it's not like that.
What? They're all open 24 hours
Well, they're open much later.
till 2 a.m. You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Well, that's impressive. I was just talking with someone like an hour ago about how the people say, "Oh, Elgin Street Diner's so good." It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's terrible food. But when your alternative is again McDonald's or Pizza, then yes. Like I think Denny's is good. I like Denny's any time of day. But again, I'd still take. But a lot of people don't. Denny's is like the fucking butt of the joke in a lot of places in the States. But I would take Denny's in the middle of the night over, McDonald's and Pizza. The only problem is that you got to sit down and wait. It's just a lot longer endeavor. And that's why drunks go to those places. Because if they're going to wait 40 minutes for food, they can just go home and cook something. you know? So that's my thing. I'm drunk and I want it now, not later, now. But the closest one's 30-minute drive.
I want it now, and I want it all.
That's your theme song now.
I know.
I might make that the outro song if the other song I have picked I've already used. So I'll get you to remind me at the end of the. I'll probably talk to you post show in the VIP room of the One Man Podcast.
Yeah,
which is just
for
us.
Patreon subscribers only.
Yeah, someday if my podcast is worth listening to, I might do a Patreon. I thought one time making the interviews like Patreon, like the regular podcast would be free, but then the interviews would be Patreon. But
Yeah.
I like sharing those interviews with people regardless, and I don't know if anyone would want to pay for them, frankly. Oh my God, I'm tired. So yeah, I stopped for Taco Bell because I thought, hey, it's cheap, right? It's like $2 a taco. I'm like, I can get 2 tacos and I'm going to be, saving money. And so I did 2 double-decker tacos because I like the refried beans. And I like that when I crunch into the shell and it shatters, which it always does.
Yeah.
There's the other soft shell with the beans to glue it together, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's how you make tacos.
Really?
Well, yeah, like that's how smart people do tacos.
Okay, but it's not, like for me, for 2 decades of my life, like tacos were a hard, crunchy corn tortilla that you bite and it shatters. Like I'd get those old El Paso taco kits in the grocery store, right? And those ones didn't come with soft and hard tacos. Like their big initiative was to make the base of them flat so that you could just stand them up when you fill them. You bite into it, it still fucking shatters and beef and cheese and lettuce go everywhere. So I ordered those 2 things, and then there was this like double queso thing, and I'm like, all right, I'll take one of those. No price on it. So I order the things, and it comes to $12, and I'm like, oh, all right. Well, that wasn't saving money, and I'm like, and I'm in hour 2 of my 6-hour journey. By the way, longest line I've been in. I lost easily 30 minutes to that Taco Bell drive-through line, and it was. One of the worst things about a drive-through is, when you get into it and you're going, okay, this is taking too long, but there's cars behind you. Like you can't just leave drive-throughs.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Some of them. Yeah. I like the ones where the parking lot's open. So if it just takes too fucking long, you can just drive out of it. You know what I mean? You just pull over to the side and you're gone. But I think a lot of them have gotten wise to it. That's why you pay first and then you sit 4 car lengths from your shit. Because now they have your money. So you want to drive away, by all means. But yeah, it's, I fucking hate it. So I was stuck in it and I'm just sitting there and the rain's pouring down. Garbage. 8 to 2. And one of the tacos, they had wrapped it so poorly that when I pulled it out of the bag, the wrapper was half open. Okay. So it's sitting like face up and I'm like, or sorry, you'd think it's sitting face up when you pull it out of the bag. The wrapper's half off of it. And then when I pull the wrapper off, I'm holding it upside down, moving it across. So it's pouring cheese and lettuce all over the center console, my lap, my chest, everything. I'm like, all right, good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh man, those first world problems.
You know what? It is a first world problem, but fuck you. Cause that third world fucking monkey wrapped it. And he wrapped it like a fucking idiot. I'm saying monkey because of the intelligence level, not because of, I have no idea what the color of their skin is. So if anyone's like, that's racist, I don't even know what race I'm talking about. So couldn't possibly be. All I know is that it was a baboon type effort. Are baboons apes or monkeys, Red? You're educated.
I don't know.
Where'd you go?
I think they're apes.
I think they're apes. So do I. That's why I had the moment of doubt. I'm going to need you to answer all questions faster. I legitimately thought you were gone.
Let's continue. There's a lot more interesting things to talk about than fucking
listen,
Taco Bell.
You are not the showrunner here. Okay. Yeah, but that was basically the most eventful thing on the entire trip. And it was just stuck in rain off and on the whole fucking way. The only other irritant, and it's actually bothering me everywhere, so I may as well just talk about it, is I stopped at one of those en routes to get gas. Because I wasn't going to make the whole trip on the one tank. And yeah, they wouldn't let me in without a mask. Now, thank Christ I had some in the car, but they were packed in a bag in some luggage under shit. So it was a bit of an endeavor. And of course, I'm standing in the rain to dig everything out. But yeah, wouldn't let me in without a mask. And all I needed to do was use the bathroom. So I dug one out whenever. It's funny because like What if I needed gas and I was pumping gas and then I went inside to pay and I couldn't go in without a mask? You know what I mean? So you just let me not pay for it. I do know that you can pay at the pump, but let's say I had cash and that's how I was paying. You know, like you're just going to I don't know. I think the mask optional thing is good. Obviously wearing a mask is good, but I've just been used to the whole pandemic, them letting people in, some places offering you a mask. But now it's like, okay, now masks are mandatory. It's like, well, you know what? That shit would have probably helped some stuff a while back, not as everything's fizzling out.
Well, everything was closed a while back. Now everything's opening up and they're like, okay, like, let's not get crazy, people.
Right. But these en routes weren't closed the entire time. And they weren't forcing you to wear a mask. So that's what I'm saying. Like the places that were open the whole time weren't doing this.
Well, I guess maybe they just figured that before there were a lot fewer people on the road.
Well, maybe, but I think overall it's like, because you and I, did we not find out together that it's not an actual rule that you don't have to
it
wear a
wasn't
mask?
until this week.
Oh, it is a rule now for sure.
Yeah, now it is.
Oh, okay. Because you and I went to the Costco and they didn't make us put on a mask. They said it was optional.
Well, the LCBO.
Was it the LCBO? Okay. Well, and they're government run. So who's going to be more on deck with the fucking government rules? Well, I went back to the Costco yesterday on my way home to pick up that stuff. And they forced people to come over and take a mask, force them. So you have to wear one. And now they write it down and they will not let you not wear a mask. Like some people were saying that if you say you have a medical condition, then they don't make you put on a mask. Like people are just like medical condition and they just leave them alone. Well, now they make you show them a certificate if you have a medical condition. And if you don't show it and you don't put it on, they have to log it as like an incident report.
Yeah.
So
because I think it came into effect actually like Saturday. Like they made the announcement Friday.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Saturday it came into effect because we went to Costco and LCBO on Friday.
That's right. Yeah, we went and did that.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves now.
Oh my God, time traveling. Which is also another foreshadowing thing. Yeah, so that was it. I just remember being frustrated. Again, I'm lucky I had them in the car, but I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go piss. I think like my frustration with the system, like I'm glad. I think the thing that's bothering me the most is that I was frustrated with the fact that nobody was taking it serious when they should have. And then now that it's like I said, now it's kind of fizzled. A lot of people still aren't really taking it seriously. Now it's like, okay, everyone wear masks and this, and it's like, where was this during the pandemic? And you know what? You have a point that a lot of these places weren't open, but I'm noticing it at all the places that I was going the whole time, like Costco and, convenience stores and grocery stores and stuff. And it's like, well, that stuff would have helped flatten the curve if they were doing that right from the get-go. Not, 5 months later going like, all right, everyone wear masks and stuff. It's like, okay, well, less serious now, but whatever. That was the biggest thing. I would have pissed in the parking lot had they denied me entry. If I had no mask, I'd have been like, okay, I'm going to go pee in the parking lot. I wish I had bought stocks in mask and sanitizer companies before this happened. You know what I mean? I think we'd be making a fucking killing right now.
Well, yeah. If only.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Anyways,
hot takes.
So you got to
I'm
our
hoping
place,
that Red will
and
say
then you
more
had,
when I drink.
You got to our place, and then you had real tacos.
I did have real tacos, but I'm going to save the food portion. The food portion's going to get its own thing. So we went to your place, and I got to hang out with you, your husband, your lovely child. And we had fun. What did we do the first night? We did have a meal. I'm gonna give the whole meal section its own thing. But what did we play the first night? I think we played some games, right? We played Arboretum.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy that?
And then, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just something basic. And then we played Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Tiny Epic Galaxies. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like that one?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Mm-hmm.
It's not bad for a small game in a box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that you're a sci-fi person like me. So I just thought I'm going to try to bring all of my little, or some of my little, sci-fi games that we never get a chance to play. So the course of our trip was kind of like we'd wake up, we'd try to do a couple errands or whatever. Like we had the dinner on Friday night, played a couple games, and then you and I went to Costco on Friday morning. As I do when I'm out of town, my first foothold is to find the local Costco and peruse its wares.
Yeah, well, I knew you would want to go, and so I knew that I needed to go like as of a week before, but I held out for
Yeah.
Josh getting here.
You know I'm going to do it. And I did it twice. I went again on Monday. Although I did not poke around in it. I was glad that you were up for sort of scoping it out too, because a lot of times when I go, people are like, let's just get what we need and get the fuck out. I'm like, but they have so many different things all the time.
Yeah, well, usually that's what I have to do because like I'm on a time crunch or I'm like, I need to get this and like it's busy and I just want to get out of there. But
yeah,
I've never, I don't think ever like done as much as we did.
Costco's
browsing.
You've never done that much?
No.
Oh, wow. Costco's like my escape. Like I went today. Dear. It is. I'm almost like I take my time at Costco because I'm just like, I need something. I don't know why. I like that place so much. This stuff is so different. I feel like I'm getting a deal all the time. I don't know. I've got a weird sickness for Costco, but I dig it. And the good news is I found chairs that I was looking for. I think I don't know if I mentioned in the last podcast, but I hit a few different Costco's trying to find some folding chairs for my mom's gazebo. And I bought one like 2 years ago from Costco. I fucking love it. I just use it when I'm sitting on the back porch or if I'm, just going somewhere where there's limited seating. It folds up. It's in the car. It's great. It's $37. Can't fucking beat that. My mom was looking at some terrible, like wicker sort of looking benches on Giant Tiger. Now they were like $120. And I was like, okay, well, that's a good price. But right now during COVID, like first off, a good price, but it's going to be shitty quality. And right now, like, a bench that would seat two, but it's like seating two side by side. So with COVID and everything like that, like I would say even in regular outside in the heat, you don't want to be fucking thigh to thigh with somebody. I would think, you want a little bit of space. So I'm like, for the price of these one bench that seats two close, you can get 3 chairs with folding table on the side and beverage holder. I don't know. I thought it was a great deal, but I couldn't fucking find the chairs. So when I walked in with you to the Costco in London and saw those, I was like, that's amazing. But I'm like, I'll pick them up Monday when I'm leaving. So they're not, I didn't want to fill our cart 4 seconds into our journey, which it totally would have. I believe. And I bought 4 of them after all. I was going to get 3 originally. I bought 4 when I left. So I got thems. And what else? We did steaks. We picked up our steaks for the dinner. And I think for you, it was just a little bit of perusing, a little bit of bagels. You got that moon cheese stuff or whatever the hell it's called, space cheese.
Yeah, and then the folding table for
that's right
game.
That's right. Oh, guys, I couldn't possibly advertise Costco anymore on this podcast. I'll have to reach out to them. They don't even do sponsorships or advertising or anything like that, as far as I know. But yeah, whatever. I got to do Costco. Happy boy. What else did we do on Friday? We didn't go see Rufio until Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We played with your son. Your son has tons of energy, loves cars, the Disney franchise, absolutely loves them.
Yeah.
That's all it talks about. If I had a nickel for every time I heard, will you play cars with me? Will you play cars, Josh? Dosh, can we play cars?
Yeah.
My name was Dosh, Dosh.
Yeah, the whole time.
Dosh.
Yeah, and then it was hilarious because as soon as you left, then I was like, "Hey, buddy, do you miss Dosh?" And he was like, "It's Josh, mommy."
Oh, he corrected you?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
He said,
I was like, wait a second. Like, literally the whole time we would say, "It's Josh, Ronan, Dosh."
Yeah, that's really funny. That's really funny. Yeah, no, he was good. He's a lot of energy. He only had a couple little meltdowns, which is good for any kid, and it was hot. He went out and he played.
Yeah, and he was tired, like he was, he's just recently stopped. Well, like we cut off his naps. Like he would happily nap in the afternoon still, but we've been cutting off his naps. So. Oh,
really? Because he'll stay up, right?
Yeah, because he was like having a hard time going to sleep at night. So like we're like, well, you clearly don't need the daytime nap, but he loves it. So
fuck, I love it.
Yeah,
I love having naps.
By the end of the day,
I think I had a nap every day that I was at your house. I believe I did. Oh, I'm old. Do you ever nap in the afternoon?
No, when would I nap?
No. Well, I mean, you never have an opportunity.
I would love to have a nap. No.
Really, you can't be like, John, I need half an hour. And he couldn't
No.
watch him for 30 minutes?
Well, yeah, but there's other things to do if I have an extra 30 minutes where he's, where somebody else is with him.
Oh, wow.
Or I want to read a book. It's like nap just feels like waste.
Right, but doesn't it buy you a little more time later in the day? That's what I'm saying. Like, you get that 30 minutes back. That's the whole idea of a nap.
Not really.
Oh, no?
No.
I'm going to start sending you texts every time I have a nap. I'll text you when I go to, there's so many days. I'm not bragging. Again, I have a lot less, but I'm just saying there's times where I'm like, it's 3 PM. I'm like, I'm fucking wiped, and, I don't do as much as you, but I carry a lot more stones. So it's like, I'll do like a shitload of food prep, and I'll go and I'll run a bunch of errands, and then I'll go for a walk, and I'll clean up a bunch of shit. And then I'll be like, okay, little gas. I'm like, I can't think of anything right this. So you know what? I'm going to fucking grab an hour nap, recharge this battery, right? Hit the sheets at like 3 or 4, alarm goes off at 5, set it for 6, 6 comes around and I'm like, I gotta love myself first. Set it back for 7. Yeah. I would imagine it's been a long time since you've done that. Well,
I was never really like a napper, ever.
Well, I've never been.
Always wanted things to do. There were always things to do. Not before Ronan. It wasn't things to do, but it was I want to play video games, or I want to read a book, or there's always I'm just a busybody, I guess.
Right. Well, I like doing things too. I just find that with my age, it's probably mostly my health. I'm out of shape, so I burn myself out. I think one of the things that's odd about me is that even though I'm overweight, no question about it, I don't do things like I'm overweight, if that makes sense. A lot of big guys move slow and they don't carry heavy things or whatever. I don't fuck around. If I need to carry something, I pick it up and I fucking carry it. But when I'm done the task, I'm more gassed than other people. Do you know what I mean? Being out of shape doesn't stop me from doing the job. It just burns me out more than other people, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. If I need to go up a flight of stairs, I go up the fucking stairs. I'm catching my breath, whereas someone in better shape isn't. But I still did it at the same speed as the other person. You know what I mean? So for me, the naps are I'm gassed halfway through the day. Sometimes, not every day, sometimes. And so a fucking nap in the afternoon is okay, I'm like an iPhone 4. All right. My battery's fucking dead halfway through the day, and I need to plug myself in for a little bit to get another half. But I don't do it all the time, but let me tell you, when I do, that getting into bed and pulling the covers up, oh my God, is that ever the best? So comfortable. And I loved doing it at your place when I was there. Sorry, I had a hiccup in the middle of my emphasis. But yeah, I'm glad we got to play some games and stuff like that too. We did, I'm just taking a look at here. We did the Costco mission. We got our moon cheese. We got our steaks.
Well, yeah, Friday you didn't have steak. You had
we had the
Chicago.
Oh yeah, I've saved all that. I've itemized all the magical meals that I've had.
Well, okay. So I went and trained Rufio.
Yeah, I stayed with John and Ronan that night.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we did. I think we sat and we played some stuff with Ronan.
Okay, weren't you playing a board game? You were playing the Disney board game with him.
Was I? Because you played with us.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I left.
Oh. Well, we did that. I can't remember what else we did. Oh, we did the marbles and the things. That was Friday night. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played with a lot of kids' toys this last week, guys. And let me tell you, you know what it was? It was the laying down on the floor. Holy fuck, am I not built for that anymore? Holy shit. I'd go to sit up ugh. Oh my back. Even the first night when we played Arboretum and Tiny Epic Galaxies on the ottoman, I had to keep moving because I was so uncomfortable from being hunched over and then sitting on the floor with my legs crossed in different ways. I'm like, oh God. So thank Christ that you got that table. God bless
with
you
faith
and Costco. Yeah. Divine intervention. No, it was good. I enjoyed playing with him. You know what I mean, and seeing his excitement. Dosh, can you play cars with me? I'm playing with you. I've got them in my hand, buddy. Dosh,
Right here.
can you? I'm right here, dude. Cars in my hand. I'm waiting for your leadership. You have more experience with playing cars than me. What do you want me to do? Can you play with me? Okay, vroom vroom vroom. No, play with me. I'm like, I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, this is our struggle.
Yeah.
every
Yeah, because
day.
John said you too, right? You're like, I'm playing. I'm right. What do you? I don't understand.
Or
I'm
he's like,
here.
he's like, watch this, mommy, watch this. I'm like, I'm literally looking right at you. You're looking at me. I'm looking at you. I am watching. Do you need a verbal confirmation every single time?
Yeah, I'm watching right now, staring at you. I've noticed too. You did a lot of wardrobe changes. That was another thing. You could actually have a half an hour nap every day if you
that's
changed
been my thing
clothes.
since forever, though.
Really?
It used to drive my parents insane.
Oh yeah, you're like, boop, different clothes and different clothes and different clothes. Hey, you've already seen me in this one.
Because I'm like cold-blooded. I like cannot maintain my own body temperature.
So you just swap clothing all the time?
Yeah.
That's funny. Taking a look here at some of the other stuff that we did. What else did we do? I'm trying to keep everything kind of in tune with the way we did it. We visited on Saturday. We visited Rufio. We got to go see your horse. Make sure that he's, you got to keep an eye on him, right? Like turning over meat in the oven. You got to keep, I'm going to just keep the joke alive that you're going to eat that horse. And then someday when he's too old to do anything and you eat him, I'm going to be like, called it. Do you think you'd ever, like, I know that's a weird question to ask, but when he is too old, you can make him food, right?
What?
Well, when he's too old, right? When he dies or whatever, you could still sell him as meat, right?
No, not when he dies.
Why not?
No, because he's dead.
What?
At that point. Yeah, I don't think they take like dead meat.
Well, for fuck's sakes, I mean, they pretty sure they kill them before they cut them up. Like how long?
Well, yeah, but it has to be like there, I think. Like,
Well, if he's only been dead for like a couple
to turn
hours,
like right away.
Does it?
But I wouldn't do that to him. Like if I have him until he dies, like that's like.
Well, what do? Do you have like a funeral and you bury him somewhere? Get a tombstone?
Yeah, I think they cremate them. I think they can cremate them.
It's funny because you would think that they could like grind them up and feed them to cattle or something like that. Like there's still food
Not
value.
Cattle.
Well, I don't
cattle.
Livestock. Something carnivorous
no
would eat
livestock
him.
Eat meat. You crazy?
Don't pigs eat meat? Don't they? In every one of those like crazy British movies, they feed people to the pigs.
No, only in
Pigs
the
will eat
Silence
meat.
of the Lambs.
Yeah, and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And in fucking Red Dead Redemption 2, you can feed people to the pigs. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah,
ask.
just because it's in a movie I saw, it must be right.
Listen, I'm afraid of monkeys because I know they're going to rise up and take over the world. It was in a movie.
And they're not monkeys; they're apes. Congratulations.
I'm going to need you to fuck off with your corrections. They're not monkeys; they're apes. Fine. Oh, speaking of which,
it's literally called Planet of the Apes.
Speaking of which, I just want to mention, I forgot to take a picture. I meant to before I left. So this is what I walk into my very first night in the new home. By the way, Red has a lovely home. But doesn't put up a lot. Like in the games room downstairs, there's only one picture on the wall that I noticed, and that was a picture of her and Sir Patrick Stewart, because Red's a Trekkie. Obviously a big moment for her.
There's a lot more pictures than that. You weren't paying attention.
No, there's pictures upstairs. I know there's ones with you and John and Ronan and like trees upstairs. There's some, but in downstairs I only noticed.
No, downstairs there's like family portraits. Like a whole bunch, like me and my family, like Ronan,
on the opposite
wall,
wall, there's one frame. All I'm saying is the area that we were sitting in,
there's like some artwork that was like kind of hidden by all that junk.
All I'm saying is from what I saw, where I was sitting most of the time in that couch area, there's one picture on the wall, and it's you and Patrick Stewart. And then in my lovely guest room, all right, so people can come over, stay. Very nice guest room / office, but you were kind enough to vacate. Yeah, you were kind enough to vacate an office with a bed in it, but it was, and I think it wasn't an office when I stayed there last year, right?
No, because I wasn't working from home then.
Right. So it was originally the guest room. And I don't remember if they were on, I believe they were. But
Yeah.
I'm laying in bed my first night, my friends, their lovely home, lovely family. And I'm laying in bed, and at the foot of the bed, like up on the wall where you can just stare gaze, was their diplomas. John and Red's diplomas just hanging on the wall for their lovely GED guest to just lay there and stare at all night and just reflect on all the decisions that I've made in my life. It was so funny. And if the walls were covered in shit, actually I'd probably feel worse because there'd probably be just more accolades.
But no, there was 2 things behind you.
There was thing behind me. There was the spawn thing. That's it.
Yeah. The autograph spawn. And then there was, John's like certificate from his chef
back on mute. Sorry. Not you. Sorry. I put it on off mute so that I would hear when you called. And now I'm getting bing, 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 bing. It's all people texting
me. We do have like a ton of stuff that needs to be put up on the walls. It just has taken us like 5 years to do it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. All I know is I just thought it was really funny.
Well, we didn't finish this basement until a couple of years ago, really. So.
Yeah. Well, I think we should put your diplomas out in the living room or something. Let everyone see them.
Okay.
It's just, I just laughed. I thought it was funny. And that's not because of anything you guys did. It's because I'm always doubting myself. And then I lay in bed and I'm like, this is nice. They got a nice home, nice family. I'm like, oh yes, very accomplished. Yes, Josh. Yes. It's not like it was sitting there. It was like, I wonder what education.
Yeah. Well, I only put one of my degrees up there. You should be thankful.
Oh, should I? No, you should cover the walls in them. How many degrees do you have, Red? Tell the audience. Onesies would love to know. How many degrees does Red have? 4 degrees? In what?
Yeah.
What are your degrees?
I have a business. Well, I have 2 business degrees.
Why 2? Why was the first one shitty?
They came in sets of 2, apparently.
They came in sets. Oh, so you have the same degree just printed twice.
No. Like I have a general management degree, and then I have a degree in sports and entertainment management.
Okay, and then what are the other 2 degrees?
I have a master's in environment and sustainability.
Gay.
And then a Bachelor of Computer Science.
Bachelor in Computer Science, something about entertainment and sustainability. Environment and sustainability.
Not related.
I'm just like, okay, entertainment and sustainability. That sounds like a weird one.
Essentially, I made a bunch of mistakes when I was younger, and then I was like, don't be stupid, get a real degree.
Well, what did you want to do with the environment and sustainability one?
Work in conservation and making the world a better place, I guess. I was just trying to find some purpose.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering what people wanted to do.
But I was going to pair the business side. So essentially I did corporate social responsibility, which is like the business case for being more environmentally and socially responsible. And there is a good financial business case for it, but it's a long-term, it's more of a long-term thing. You can save a lot of money long-term by implementing environmental and socially responsible practices. But there's a short-term investment that, most companies can't see that far down the road. So they want to do the feel-good things for their company that get them PR kind of, but they don't want to dive deep and see the long-term gains.
So yeah. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Tim Ferriss podcast.
Wow.
No, I'm sure what you said makes sense to some people. I'm an idiot, so I don't know anything. But no, I get what you're saying. I'm actually just joking. I get what you're saying. That stuff's interesting to me too. It just sounds like a lot of fucking work and research and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad people smarter than myself, like yourself, are studying things like that. And then doing something else with a degree afterwards. But no, that's like I said, I thought it was funny. The degrees on the wall. You should draw a line actually, because it's your degree on one side, John's on the other. Yours was bigger than his. Just
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
what
of,
Western does.
yeah, they just, it's a pissing contest, I guess, with schools having bigger degrees.
Yeah.
But you should draw a line down the wall. Just like, here's the wall. We each get half the wall, and then just put all your degrees on one side and have like his one on the other. But then he can start putting like framed autograph pictures in there, and you can put your Patrick Stewart. Just be funny. Just like,
Yeah.
just having a little wall war. I don't know why I didn't even write that down. I just thought that was funny. I remember staring at the 2 degrees like all night. Basically, that's the only thing on the wall to look at. Yes, there's a Spawn one on the other wall, but when your head's on the pillow and it's directly above your head, it's not exactly your viewing angle.
Yeah.
Just funny. We did a backyard. Sorry, we were talking about visiting your fucking horse, and then I asked if we could grind him up and feed him to something when he dies. Not sure how that ended up all over the place. Oh, it had to do with me asking you if apes were monkeys, and then you have more education than me and you show it off. That's almost like you knew you'd get into arguments with me and you needed to just fucking whip out your cock first. So like when he goes to bed, he's going to stare at these degrees and he ain't going to fucking argue with us. Which degree's on the wall? The computer science one?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that you're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got there, all the horses were wearing sex masks. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Because
I got there.
I was trying to think of something smart. I couldn't. There's nothing.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
No, they're fly masks. They just help keep the flies out of their eyes.
So if you
and
guys,
out of their ears.
Yeah, if you guys can imagine this, we get there. All the horse have what look like those fucking those S&M leather, I don't know what to call them, but you call them this and everyone like knows what they mean. The gimp masks from like Pulp Fiction. You get there and all the horses look like they got these leather masks on, like their eyes look covered and stuff. And even their ears were covered. And I didn't know what it was at first. I thought, because you see horses in races where they've got like the blinders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so what? They don't get spooked by the other horses?
No, I think it's more a focus thing, just to keep them like focused on just like the space ahead and not distracted by what's going on around them.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Beady bop boop boop boop. Come on, brain. Yeah, they had that sort of look to them, but then when we got close to them, we could see that it was like screen door netting around the eyes, and for some reason, it actually holds pretty nicely, like off of their eyes. You would think some sort of mask like that would like fall and drape in their face, but the way it sits, it's like that lets their nose out, their nose and their mouth, so I guess they can graze and eat and drink and stuff. But then it covers their eyes and then their ears too. Why the ears? Flies go in their ears?
Like you don't have, not all of them have ears, but one for Rufio has ears, just because the flies, like, and especially the black flies, get in their ears and they like chew on like the inside of their ears. It's really he had an awful case when I first bought him of like just like his poor ears had just been destroyed by black flies.
Right, and we all know that black flies matter. So
yeah.
I'm just going to, every time I hear anything that even sounds like it, I'm going to say it to make sure I don't get canceled. No, it's so stupid. Yeah, but I saw the masks on the horse and I was like, what the fuck? And some of them had them and some of them didn't. So I was
some are the doms and some are the subs.
Well, yeah, basically. It's like the weird sex dynamic between the fucking horses. So it was really, it was odd at first. And then because I was like, why do some of them not have it? And you're like, well, I guess their owners don't care about them or whatever. But because
a lot of them like will roll and then they'll kind of like fall off.
The flies?
No, the mask.
Oh,
so, I see. The horse will roll in the dirt.
Yeah.
And then the mask will like come off.
Well, one of them had this ear slip out of the fucking thing, and then I pulled the strap back over his head. Mm-hmm. So John was trying to do it. And he didn't want to come near John, but he came near me. So that felt like a small victory. But
I don't have a degree, but I'm a horse whisperer.
I'm a horse whisperer, yo. And I'm like, hey, come over here, you fucking asshole. I think that's what I said to him. It's like we stupids can communicate with each other. He didn't know we were trying to help. And I'm like, hey, get over here. Slip the thing. And so he let me. And they're big animals. So I don't know. It's like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And then, so we went inside where you started brushing the horse. You did all the big setup with the ropes and tied his head so he couldn't move or whatever. Or clipped, whatever. Not, you didn't tie his head, but you clipped him in so he's got a rope on either side of his face, kind of holding him still so you can wash him or whatever.
Yeah, to his halter.
Yeah, and you gave him the, combed them and all that shit. A lot of dust comes off of them when you brush them, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Because their coats look so they look so thin and like tight to the body. So you're almost like, I can't see where dirt would hide. But there's dirt and dust in there. And then Ronan found
especially right now because it's so dry.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dirt and dust.
Well, Ronan found the sex room. There's a room to the side that had like shitloads of leather straps and saddles and like that. I walked in that room, all you could smell was leather. And I think I joked with you that like that seems like the kind of place where like that whole farm could have been a sex, some sort of sex dungeon or sex colony. And people just show up, cops show up and it's like, no, this is just a horse ranch. Look at the horses. They got the masks on. This is all for like it was oddly sexual, all the leather and masks on the horses and everything like that. But it was funny to crack jokes, but the rest of it was, you had to train your horse and I was kind of watching the different things that you were doing. You were getting them to trot and then like walk and then trot and then walk. You had him sort of like on a rope where he would go in a circle around you. Mm-hmm. Is there like, because there was other little drills you're doing with him where you would walk him around the big barn on the inside. So why the circle? Well, I guess it's so that you can keep up with him, right?
Yeah. So like, I don't have to be running all over the place while he works,
right.
So it allows, and it also like keeps him kind of engaged with me and paying attention to me, like not just going wherever he pleases.
Right.
So yeah.
It was just interesting to see little things that I know nothing about. So, yeah.
So they call that lunging on the line, lunge on the line. And then, so, he walks and trots and then halts. And then the deal is that he's supposed to like listen to my commands essentially, like and respond to when I ask him to do something. He did a really good job, I think, that day.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't see him really not listen much. There was a couple times where you walked away from him and he might take a couple steps and you go back, hey, go back. And
one of the training things for him that I never thought about before owning a horse, is like to get him to just stand in the arena by himself. And then like I walk away and he's supposed to stay standing there. And it makes sense because like, sometimes I have to like set up some stuff or like grab something or whatever. So the fact that he will just stand there and won't like wander off is pretty important. It is way more valuable than I ever like realized.
I need to teach my mother how to do that when I'm shopping with her. Mm-hmm. I'll be pushing the car. She's right behind me. I turn around and she's fucking wandered off somewhere and didn't tell me. I got to fucking find her.
And then we did some of the desensitizing stuff. Did I use the tarp or the umbrella?
you used a big tarp. And I think John explained to me that it was just, you just go and make noise near him to get him
and
used
rub
to
him
noise.
with it so that he like gets used to like it just being around him. And like that way, if like he is somewhere and like somebody like, shakes like something and makes that kind of noise, he doesn't spook and get startled by it. Right. It's just like preparing them for the inevitabilities of the outside world, essentially.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's much of that stuff. So I thought it was cool because there's all sorts of things like that. Dogs don't spook as much because I've trained dogs, to heel and all sorts of different things like that to listen off leash and certain things. Training them not to get spooked by noises is nothing I've ever had to do, and maybe it's just because dogs are in on that environment.
I think because they're higher on the food chain, so they don't have to worry about being prey as much as horses do.
Right. Well, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Which one of your degrees taught you that? Environmental sustainability. Here's the food. Did you guys have a fucking day on the food chain and environmental sustainability? They talked about the animals in an environment. No? I think they missed a golden opportunity. But it was cool. Like I said, it was interesting to see that. And then you brought him back in, and what kind of rub or marinade were you putting on him at the end? I noticed there was a lot of things that you were rubbing into him.
Yeah. No, just fly cream.
Fly cream?
Yeah. To keep the flies off.
Yeah.
Or like to deter them.
I felt
bug spray kind of.
Yeah. Well, I just teased, but I remember just feeling really bad for the horses, just standing at the fence for a couple of minutes, and just there was all the horses that came up to me at the fence. Like I remember just they coming close, and I just kept rubbing flies off their nose and off their fucking face
awful.
and stuff.
Oh,
Just
man.
non-stop on them. I'm like, fuck, I would just kill me.
Yeah.
It just seemed horrible. It just seemed fucking horrible. I'm like, get off the fucking horse, leave him alone. And I was happy that they weren't on me. Yeah, because I hate when fucking flies are on me, but they were just all on the horses. Like we're talking like fucking 15 or 20 of them just around their nostrils and stuff on one horse. Yeah. It's like, get the fuck off of them.
Yeah. That's why that's why I'm really glad he is not managing to get the fly mask off anymore. It's still on.
He used to get it off?
Get there. Yeah, he used to like roll and he'd like rub it off essentially. And so I was like, oh, buddy, you're getting like destroyed by these bugs. Just leave it on, please.
Yeah. You can get like some studs installed in his around his head, like piercings, and have it like those clip buttons that snap on each other, the big metal snappy buttons. I don't know what the fuck those are called. And just snap them onto his skull, and then he can't get it off.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, we could be a trendsetter. It's like my horse is very punk, yo. You were saying that you're all about operatic metal or whatever the fuck it is. What did you call it? Synthesized metal?
No, symphonic
metal. Yeah, your horse can be symphonic metal. But I don't know. I had a good time meeting your horse. I look forward to more things. Maybe I'll lose enough weight someday that I can ride him.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. And then I'll fall off and be all Christopher Reeve and shit. So I'm going to go back to some of the meals that we had. Or no, not meals. I apologize. Some of the games we played. We played Time Stories. That was the big one that we sort of played. I think that we kind of
put a lot of time in.
We put into time in that one. That was a game.
Time into Time Stories.
We fucking did it. Okay, so for anyone listening, this is a game I bought a long time ago, and the idea with this game when I looked into it was like, it's a game where you have a scenario, and the reason it's called Time Stories is like you work for some like time company. I think there was something on the inside page about it, the little flavor text or whatever. I don't think we read it, but the idea is that you work for some company where they send your team back in time to some place to prevent something. And they never really explained how us preventing it would really alter things in the future. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really explain it, but the whole idea is like you go back in time, and in the game you have a set amount of time in general. So you and your team walk into a room, and you each pick what you're going to do in the room and what have you. You sort of collect items and collect clues and talk to people and experience certain things. And then you run out of time. And you either failed or you succeeded. But I would say that it's a pretty safe bet that nobody would succeed on their very first try. That would be my thoughts. Like you'd have to be incredibly lucky to succeed your first try.
Yeah.
So the idea of the game is you play it, you search for things, and then you kind of, establish what are the key things we need to do, and what are the things that we don't need to do. So you're basically playing the game a few times to try to build the best possible run through, to solve everything. I think we did it in 3 tries, which was not bad. Like the second try, we fucked up big time. Like we all got murdered very quickly. Like we played the first time, we were taking our time. We were kind of looking around at things and whatnot. And also in your third try, they give you more time. So, but when you leave a room, you gotta roll and lose time. When you do something else, when you do a second action or whatever in a room, you lose more time. So I don't know. The game made me think of 12 Monkeys, where our characters we were in an old asylum, and it just made me feel like, we're out of place here. We're not supposed to be here, but we can still talk to it. I don't know. It was interesting. I liked the game. I liked the concept. What did you think of it?
It was a good concept. I was a little disappointed in the end, I think.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would have more depth.
Yes, I too thought it'd be more. I thought it would be a little bit more satisfying an ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've played those unlock games and we've played the exit games, and when you win, there's even though it's just a card game and you're just solving puzzles, right? It's not as complex as Time Stories was. I feel like even those cards at the end give you a little bit more story, and a little more congratulations, you've done it, than this did. It was just like, congratulations, your mission was successful.
It felt
Welcome
like we
back.
kind of fell into the right result.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel like a build towards the end. Do you know what I mean? If you were watching a movie or a show, you would, you're walking around and they're going back in time and forward in time, and okay, we're going to try it again, and we're going to eliminate this, and then we're going to do, and then you would start to feel like, okay, I think we're getting close to the end. I think that, it would build. This didn't feel like a build at all. It was just kind of like, oh, you were there and it's over. I'm like, really? I felt like so many of those places that we spent time on the first two run throughs were going to matter more, and they so didn't. At all. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of the game was they've got more expansions that are like basically different scenarios. So I would say for anyone,
I'd give it a second shot to see if maybe just because it was the first one, they kind of kept it safe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And when they published it, they already published it with, advertisements for the 3 subsequent ones. So they probably built them all at the same time. But I feel like I feel like the main game should have come with 2 scenarios for the price tag.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't buy it, so I don't know. But
right. Well, the expansions, let's put it this way. The expansions cost $33 or whatever, and the main game is like 70. So, for the couple of tokens you get or whatever, I don't feel like that first scenario was whatever. So I'm with you. I'd play another one to see if they get any better. I've got friends who've played, several of them, so they keep going back, but, I think that the base one, you know what? It was fun. I didn't not enjoy it while we were playing it, but when you look back at it afterwards, it's what's in that box, John and I could never open up and play again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So for what it did for us, it's over. It's the pieces we need to play those expansions. But in terms of, spending that kind of money on a game, you can get games that you can play over and over and over again for that kind of money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I still enjoyed it. And I'm glad you guys played. Thank you very much for that. We tried to play an escape room because I think John really likes the escape rooms, but we tried to do one of those tired, and I've done one tired before, but holy shit.
Yeah. That one, I don't know. It was not coming together.
No, it was tough. It was a tough one. Now it did have the harder ratings. But it was difficult. You talk about it for a sec. I got to respond to this thing real quick.
No, I mean, it was just, the nothing was intuitive. Not even the first one. The first one was the first roadblock that we came up against. Even that we needed a hint for, and you'd think at least the first couple, you'd kind of would be a little more intuitive.
Yeah.
And usually when I play, it is that way. But yeah, they gave you nothing. And then even the clues were you'd get to the last one and then you're okay, well, this is the answer, but you haven't given me any reasonable clues. Everything is well, you need this card, this card, this card. Okay, yeah, I have those.
We have those.
Still not making sense. you know?
I found that with the game. I agree with you 100%. They give you 3 cards. The third one is just, here's the solution. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the first card would be well, in order to do this, you're going to need this card, and this card. That's hint number 1. And we've already got them, Mm-hmm. And then you start to get an idea. I think we need to do this, this, and this, but I'm not quite 100%. I don't see how it kind of aligns. And then the second card would be you're going to need to do this, this, and this. We're okay, this is the same page that we're on, but can you give us a hint? And then the last card tells you what you need to do and gives you the answer. Do you know what I mean? I wish that the second hint would tell us what we need to do. Okay, well, we're going to go try to implement that, see if we can get it right ourselves. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It's like a teacher teaching you the math formula, but you still need to go do it yourself. So I agree with you, because it's kind of you're already on 1 and 2, so the hint is not a hint. The hint is the answer. And it's well, that sort of sucks. I wish we'd sort of known, give us a bit better hints, but that was tough. I don't think I've ever played one where I got so few, answers. I think you, myself, and John each got 1, which was nice. No one left going, I was super useless. Do you know what I mean? You got the one where you added up the numbers.
Yeah.
Right? You got that one. That one was good. Anyways, yeah, it was a great game. It's one that you cut up as you play. So it was kind of like, well, we're playing this one time.
Fun.
I just kept saying, well, for me, it's just me enjoying someone else's, creativity or whatever it is, the engineering behind the game. So it was cool. We had one where we had to fold up a paper and then cut out paper men and then save their fucking shields or whatever.
Yeah. It was
stupid. It was cool. It's cool, but stupid. We got to have a backyard fire.
Yep. On Sunday.
You were looking forward to that. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Yeah. We almost messed that up because we didn't check the weather ahead of time. And really we should have done it Saturday because the weather was good. And then not done it Sunday because we checked the weather, I guess, Sunday morning. And that's when we realized it was going to rain all afternoon.
Yep.
So, or Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night late that we checked the weather and we're like, oh shit, it's going to rain for the afternoon at least. So in the morning we got up and put the wood aside and covered it so that it would be okay. But it still took a minute to get the fire going, but yeah, we almost fucked that up.
Well, I'm glad we got to do that. We did s'mores. I'm terrible at them. It took John and I a little while to get the fucking the fire started.
Yeah,
that was
good.
Yeah, it was great. I love a good fire, and we got to see some fireflies, a couple of bats.
I mean, we just installed that fire pit this summer, so it's been a long time coming. It was always in the plan for the backyard, but we only just now put it in, so it's really nice.
And you've done a few so far, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Now, the wood that you guys use, because this was one of the things I meant to ask and I just wasn't thinking of it at the time, is the wood in the back. Is that trees that you guys had on the property that you made use of, or did you buy cords of wood?
No, we cut down 5 trees in our backyard.
Okay.
Which you've seen our backyard, there's still plenty of trees there. We had so many trees in our backyard that not a sliver, no grass would grow because there was no sunlight getting to the ground.
Interesting.
It was ridiculous.
So you still have, I know you have the one with the swing in it. You still have more trees on the property?
Yeah, there's one in the back kind of.
Okay.
And then there's a whole bunch along the fence line at the back there.
But they're not very big, the ones along the fence line, are they?
They're tall, skinny cedars.
Okay.
I think. So
it'll give you firewood, basically. Okay, well, that's cool. Because that's all I was thinking. I was okay, that's a nice thing there to have, the fire pit. But I'm you're going to need to get wood. And I'm I wonder where the wood came from. I wonder if it was chopped something down. Because eventually it'll run out. And then you'll have to get cords of wood or whatever. But if I may suggest a Kijiji, a lot of people will remove trees and then say, the wood's free to a good home. So if you guys get a little chainsaw, a little trailer or something, you can show up at people's property, just chop up the tree real quick, throw it in the fucking trailer, and free wood for your fire.
Nice.
Yeah, suggestions. But my mom, when she first bought her house, or not when she first bought it, at one point, we had a tree that we cut down on the property. And just threw it on Kijiji. It's wood free to a good home. And some guy came with a chainsaw, chopped it down, chopped it all up, and took it away. So dope. Cool. Meals, madam. You alluded earlier on Friday night. I got to have pulled pork tacos. Oh my God, were they good?
No, Thursday.
What? Thursday. That's right.
Thursday
it was
night.
Thursday. You're right.
You have so much food.
It was great.
We went crazy a little bit.
That was the thing, guys. I was kind of wow, you guys get to eat like this all the time. That's amazing. And then you guys were well, we're kind of doing it because you're here. So I certainly appreciated that. We had the pulled pork tacos Thursday night with the corn tortillas.
Yeah.
And of course, all the fixins. Where do you guys get those? Just the grocery store sell them just like that, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Because I haven't seen them like that. I see only that corn tortillas, but it's usually for restaurants, and then they deep fry them and make nachos out of them. But no, they were very tasty. And then you guys had all the fixins for them as well, which was nice. And I think Friday you and I didn't do a breakfast because we went to Costco.
Yeah.
And then on Friday night, you picked this up for us because you had gone out to train Rufio and we stayed home. What's the name of the pizza place? Bondi's. Okay. I kept calling it Bunkos and shit like that because I couldn't remember. So Bondi's, that's where the O was. I'm I know there's no in it. I think it's at the end. So Bunkos is Bondi's. Bondi's Pizza in London. You guys suggested their Chicago style pizza, right? Which is like an actual pizza pie where it's, crust on the bottom and then a layer of crust on top.
Yeah.
With stuff in the middle. Like they call it like panzerottis or panzeratos or shit like that. So there's similar styles where they'll do like a slice of it. There used to be this place called like Vinetti's or Vinelli's.
No, panzerottis are like folded in half.
Yeah, it's like a giant pizza pocket. Yeah, that's not the right thing. But I'm trying to remember, there was a place called, I think, Vinelli's or whatever. They had them in malls here, and it was exactly that style where it was like a slice of pie, but instead of like, apple or raspberry or cherry filling, it was pizza and cheese and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely delicious.
They're like a little pricey, but it's like so good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you guys for that and picking it up. And they gave us like this nice container of marinara sauce to like dump on this top of the slice or whatever. Mm-hmm. Delicious, absolutely delicious. And then Saturday morning, that's when it all started happening, we got
real serious.
That's right. We did pancakes. Oh yeah, John.
Buttermilk pancakes, not the box shit.
Oh, well, can't you get buttermilk pancakes out of a box still? Like you just use buttermilk as the liquid?
Maybe.
I wouldn't know. I've heard
not box pancakes.
He made them from scratch?
Yeah.
Oh, they're incredible. Hey, listen, I love them. You guys still have a shitload of it in your fridge, don't you? Or did he make them up? Because I remember it was a big bowl of batter. He needs to.
He needs to.
You're like, he needs to get on that.
Oh my God, we've just been eating like leftovers.
Well, leftover amazing. So whatever it was, like, so yeah, that we did pancakes Friday morning. We did KD when we got, that was Saturday morning. Pancakes Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. And then when we got back from training with Rufio, we had KD. I joked, just to prove that John was human. He made craft dinner, peasant food.
Yeah, well, that's Ronan's favorite, so
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Unbelievable. With all that other stuff, yeah. And he turned his nose up at stuff that I was like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
He's picky. He like breaks John's heart all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fuck. No, I remember like we did the steak. Listen, everybody. All right. Put down your glasses or whatever you're doing right now. If you're driving, pull over. All right. We picked up those steaks at Costco. Jesus Christ. John came down and asked me, I don't even remember what he asked me. Is he within earshot, Red?
No.
Okay. Because I think I wanted to ask him because I forgot, but I think he came down at one point. He asked me something about the steaks. He didn't ask me how I wanted it cooked or anything like that. But he asked me, I don't think he said like, hey, do you want Béarnaise sauce? Because but all I remember is that at one point he was kind of like, do you like, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Because I don't think he had planned to make it. But I know that when I said I didn't know what it was, I think he was kind of like, well, I got to make it for him if he's never tried it. Do you know what I mean?
Because I think he asked me first, and I was like, no, I just want the steak.
I just want the steak. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Like I don't need all the sauce and crazy.
To think you almost fucked me out of that sauce, right?
And then he checked with you, I think.
Well, and I just remember saying like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. And then he's like, well, you know what? I think he was like, you know what? I'm just going to make it for you. And I'll be honest, if he asked you and then asked me, I'm sure part of him wanted it too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, oh, I don't know. He's like, you know, and then honestly, I was downstairs at one point and I swear to God, I think I heard, I heard him say to do, I'm just making a Béarnaise sauce real quick. Like Josh hasn't tried it, whatever. I thought I'm like, oh, is he getting in shit for making this sauce right now? I'm like, oh, I feel so fucking bad.
He always overcomplicates things. And he's like, I've spent the whole night in the kitchen. And I was like, yeah, because you had to like go like the extra mile.
Oh, I hope he didn't feel that way.
No, not at all. Like we planned the things because they're kind of like with the steaks, it's easy. You just throw them on the barbecue kind of. You do a lot of like prep ahead of time, like way ahead of time.
Right.
But the actual cooking time is quick.
Right.
So like he's kind of learned those lessons now. Like do something where you can do all the prep like way ahead of time. And then like the actual cooking like goes quick and then you can sit and you can enjoy it with everybody.
Right. Yeah, no, it was fucking unbelievable. Like he's a king as far as I'm concerned. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
loved
Josh
it.
and John are getting married.
Oh yeah. I was
If
like,
I
listen,
die.
if anything falls, if you die, fuck it. If you're, you know, you guys have one more fight and it's over. I'm going to marry him. And
You're
I'll put out,
sneaking in there.
Red. All right. I don't even care. Are you kidding me? You know what? I was going to say, I can hoard myself out and I just use the money to buy this food anyway. So, yeah, no, but it was like, not only does he make a great steak, all right, did the potatoes up on the barbecue, you know, the foil and everything, like all the
We had the baked
fixins.
potatoes with all the fixins. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. The sour cream, the cheese, the bacon bits, the chives. I think he did the one thing too is he did the caramelized onions, and just the way shit was sitting on the table, I didn't see them. I wouldn't have put a lot on because I'm not a huge caramelized onions guy, but I didn't see them because John's like, "Oh, do you not like caramelized?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, they're on the table," and I just didn't see them. That was like plain and simple. I didn't fucking.
Oh, I
see
love
them.
them.
Oh, do you? You're a big caramelized onion?
Thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's super, like, that's the thing, right? So we're having already amazing steak. Then he makes a fucking Béarnaise, I think it's Béarnaise sauce, is how it's said.
Yeah, Béarnaise.
Béarnaise. Okay.
You called it dragon cum.
Dragon. Because I didn't know what it is. I actually, like, you know, yeah, I'm like, it's magical sauce. What is this? Dragon cum? It's,
The best thing I've ever had in my life.
yeah, right in my mouth. You can finish in my mouth every time if it's that fucking good. Everything that's bad for you tastes so fucking good. Which you would think that, well, like, at the same time, God never intended us to spray our seed in each other's mouths. Mitch Fatel had a great fucking bit that he would do about how, like, when God watches people like go down on each other and stuff like that, like when God watched a blowjob, you know, his thoughts, he's like, no, you're not supposed to eat it. That's why I put hair on it.
Oh,
so fucking funny. Yeah, I fucking love that sauce. So steak with potatoes and all the fixins, fucking Béarnaise sauce, which is for if you're like me and you're you know, a peasant, you've never had the finer things. A Béarnaise sauce is like a variation of like hollandaise. It's so like, oh, it's rich and decadent and
Tina just came over.
Oh, Tina, my cat. They have two cats.
Not Tina for all of you.
Yeah, two cats. One of them's a cunt. The other one's named Penny, but I was calling her Tina. She's a kindred spirit. She's a Jabba the Hutt cat that just lays around on slabs all day long. Like she'd lay on the ottoman slab and then she'd lay on her cat condo slab. But I just called her Tina the whole time. I think the first night I thought her name was Tina.
Pounds.
Is that how much she weighs?
Yeah.
Is that shitloads for a cat?
Yeah, she's way too heavy.
It's just funny though, because I remember for some reason her name's Penny, and for some reason I thought Tina. And so I was calling her Tina. I thought it was a dumb name for a cat, but hey Tina. I mean, so anyways, yeah, and then I just kept saying, I'm like, I know it's Penny, but I'm calling her Tina. And she responded the second day she was responding to her name.
She was just like, are you gonna give me food?
Yeah. Like you kept calling your cat Toby, and I'm like, no, Tina. Or maybe it's the opposite. I was the one. You're like, my cat's name is Kunta Kinte, and I'm like, your name is Tina. But yeah, man. And then the grilled veggies with the Béarnaise sauce. So I basically just had potato, steak, and veggies, all of them slathered in Béarnaise sauce. I was so like, I'm getting excited right now just thinking about how good that sauce was. And John's like, I'm sorry, the sauce is like starting. We did the next morning for breakfast, John made breakfast hash, right? Which was like what? Potatoes. And this is the longest segment of the podcast, and I saved the best for last.
Yeah.
This is where
it was
I get
like
super
leftovers.
excited.
It was like potato,
pulled pork,
like the caramelized onion, I think.
Yeah, and he said he put like, yep. There was so much good shit in there.
Cheese.
And cheese as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there was for, you know, he warmed it up and brought it back to the table, the Béarnaise sauce, and I'm like, gray skies are gonna clear up. So good. So good. I fucking love that. I'm actually going to request it again next time I come, if it's not too much trouble. It's too goddamn good. And we can stick it in a container. Oh, I dropped something and now I'm away from the mic. You can tell. Come on, fingers, find it, pick it up. You ever get something stuck to the bottom of your foot and you're like, what was that? No, just me.
Yeah.
Onesies, send me an email. You ever have something stuck to your foot? You wonder what the fuck was that?
Onesies. Have you ever ate dragon cum?
Have you ever had dragon
Tell me about-
cum? What kind of dragon? Yeah, no, it was good. And then of course, and like 2 days early, like Friday night, John's like, we're gonna do ribs on Sunday, so I got to get them ready. He puts like a rub on them and everything like that. My head's still stuck with the fucking Béarnaise sauce on the steaks. Oh god, it was so good. breakfast Sunday morning was amazing. Breakfast hash, and then we did like those bagel things.
You put in the spa.
That's right.
Spa.
Yeah, like that's how you know your food is getting the best treatment. That's what chefs know about food is you got to treat your food good. Like, so John puts them in vacuum seals bag with a rub and then puts them in a food jacuzzi for 2 days before we eat them.
For those of you who know anything about food,
sous vide.
He put them in the sous vide, yeah.
Yeah. But even still, like you're still doing the same fucking thing, making the meat all tender. Mm-hmm. Like if you're ever on a plane crash, right? And then you have to eat somebody to survive. If you can find a hot spring, just let them sit in for a couple of days first before you eat them. That'll be goddamn delicious. But that's basically what it was. He takes them out of the sous vide, and then he puts them in the fucking the chillin' pool right back in the fridge to cool. And those were absolutely delicious. And so here's the thing too. I have talked extensively to anyone who'll listen since then about all the different things I've had at your place. And the ribs were amazing. Like the ribs in and of themselves would have been amazing as a meal. Then John made macaroni and cheese, not KD, macaroni and cheese with like what tastes like a white cheddar sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he makes like the bacon breadcrumb crumble shit to just sprinkle on top. Are you fucking kidding me? That was so goddamn good. And it's like, that's the side. Got fucking 3-day massage day spa ribs with macaroni and cheese from scratch with the crumble shit you put on top, which is absolutely delicious. And then I got to tell you, a distant, and I mean distant third place with the fucking snap peas at the end. I understand we have to have veg, but all the meals that we did with fucking veg and everything like that, those snap peas, oh.
Yeah, no, they were not very, I don't know what was up.
They weren't bad. I mean, they're snap peas. There's only so much they can do. Do you know what I mean? There's only so fast a 3-legged dog can run, and there's only so much snap peas can do for meal. But I'm telling you, that fight card with the fucking 2 headliners, the mac and cheese with the bacon crumble and the sous vide fucking ribs. Like I'm right now, that didn't even stand a chance. Snap peas were the fucking caddy for the competition. They were just like, do you need anything? They were
water boy.
Yeah. Do you need anything? No. Can you leave? Well, my contract says I have to be here. So, like, I'm not allowed to just leave. That was funny. That was the only meltdown that I really remember Ronan having was he didn't you put his peas in the mac and cheese?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, he was so upset. I'm like, part of me is like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you just fucked up that mac and cheese with those fucking peas. Yeah. So that was
really mad about it.
But yeah, it was fun. No, I honestly had a great time. You guys were both amazing to me. I had so much fun. I really truly do look forward to doing it again sooner.
Yeah, well, we loved having you here. You know, it's nice to have I think like you and John have a lot in common, and we all like to play the more complex board games, and
Well, that's good. I'm always worried in the back of my head that I'm in the way, so I'm kind of like, oh, don't worry about me. Just do what you got to do, and if you need me, call me. I'll be like a dog. Just call my name and I'll come. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to lay down somewhere. Gotta lay down and go to the bathroom when I need to in the proper locations. It was good. All I've done since I got back, because we're winding down, I got up this morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something good for myself. I'm going to go for a walk. And my intention was to walk down. I think I spoke with Mika and I was like, hey, listen, if I get some cigars, you're going to have time to smoke a cigar with me? Because I think I mentioned that last week. So we didn't end up finding the time to do that, but we're going to do it tomorrow. I just received one of the bings that you onesies will hear on this podcast was Mika sending me a text message saying he's good to go for tomorrow. So I walked to was gonna walk to the cigar shop in Westboro today. And I started to walk there, and I actually bumped into Brody of all people on my walk today. And it was funny. I was on my walk and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that thing other people do when they go for walks, which is just take a bunch of pictures of nothing and then post it to my story. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. And I just started taking pictures of like a tree or it's on the front of someone's house. And, you know, I'm like, I'm just going to get good at posting stuff. I took a picture of OC Transpo's thing saying you can't get on the bus without a mask. And I'm like, I've been wondering about that since the entire, you know, pandemic. Is you seeing buses going, people on the bus. I'm like, so are people just getting on buses like during this pandemic? That's kind of fucked up. You know, I mean, I get it. There's people without vehicles that need to get places. I get that. It's just kind of like, fuck, what are they doing? So I saw a thing that's like, now it's like as of July 5th or June 15th, it said, you must wear a mask. I'm like, well, still don't know what went on before that. But, so I took 3 pictures and then I'm walking. I would have walked down. None of these streets mean anything to anybody who doesn't live in Ottawa, but there's 2 streets that are parallel, Parkdale and Fisher. And I was normally I'd go down Parkdale and I'm like, I'm going to walk down Fisher. I'll take a picture of my old junior high school. I haven't walked past that school in like 20 years. I've driven past it, but to, you know, take a walk by and snap a picture. And as I'm getting ready to walk under the bridge right before the school, I see, you know, my height figure wave. And I'm like, is it waving at me? I go, I really don't think there's anyone behind me at all. So this person looks like they're waving at me. And then they put their hands out to the side, like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, great. It's a fucking homeless guy or whatever, or a crazy person looking to engage me. So I'm like, I'm not paying any mind to it whatsoever. And then Brody comes out. And it's funny because on No Word of a Lie, for a split second, my brain was like, that's Brody. But then I'm like, I didn't even have to talk myself out of it. It was like, it's Brody. No, it's not. And then watching the wave and the this and that, and I was like, what the fuck? And then he comes out of the other side in the sun, and I'm like, oh, it is Brody. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Blah, blah, blah. And he was actually walking. He lives with his dad now in the area that I was going in. So, but he was picking up, I guess, some aquariums for tarantulas. He's into tarantulas now. So he was just picking up these aquariums. But when I'm like, okay, well, I'll walk with you this way. You know, I'll go back with you. He's going around the corner where I just came from. And I said, and I'm going down to where your, you know, dad lives. So I'll walk with you. Well, when we got to the front, it was like 3 big aquariums that there's no way we would have been able to carry, you know, another hour back the way we went. So what we did instead was we walked back to my house, got my car. I drove him over there. We put them in the car and I drove him back to his place with them.
Wasn't that nice of you?
Oh, aren't I sweet? No, it's just, I would just, you know, help out the kiddo. But, you know, when I got into his dad's house, I'm no word of a lie. I'm literally a block away from the cigar place. So I'm like, okay, I parked the car and I go and I got the cigars and I came home. I still got a good, you know, 30, 40 minutes of walking, but I was planning on walking for an hour there, an hour back, you know, and getting the exercise in. So, what I did instead was I did that. Then I went to Costco to get a few things that I needed. I needed to get some bread and some other shit. And, what did I do? I got 2 Cubans. I got 2 Cuban cigars for me and Mika while I was there. It was a good thing. I came back from my Costco adventure and you know what I bought today, Red? I'm pretty sure I'm not keeping it, but I bought 4 cases of premium protein drinks. Have you ever had those?
No. They're pre-made?
Yeah, they're pre-made in like hermetically sealed containers. You open them up. The thing is, they're on sale right now for $8 off a box. I think they're like 36 down to 28. So like 25% off. So, I'm going to be, booking my appointments to go back to Good Life because everything's appointment now. And I find that I get really hungry after a workout. So one of these bad boys, throw it down. I'm giving myself the protein for the repair afterwards. And they're kind of nice. They come in chocolate, vanilla, and then there's like strawberry, whatever, and caramel.
How many per
18.
pack?
18. So normally they're about $2 a piece. At 25% off, they're $1.50 each. They're 30 grams of protein, 160 calories. There's only 1 gram of sugar. They're low in fat. So they're generally like pretty good product, but like I said, they were $8 off. So I was like, you know what, if I can, here's the thing. They're not designed as real meal replacements. They're designed more as a snack replacement.
Yeah, well, nothing except for Soylent is like really considered a meal
What the
replacement.
fuck is Soylent? Did we talk about this?
I don't think so.
Because I don't know why that word Soylent is on my fucking. I just talked to somebody about it recently. What is it though?
Yeah, it's a meal replacement. Like it's supposed to have all the like vitamins and minerals and everything like to actually like you could live off of like you could have two of those a day plus one real meal and
Right.
you would be fine.
Weren't we playing Don't Starve talking about this?
Maybe, yeah.
Because I remember
For a long
recently.
time they wouldn't allow it in Canada.
Okay.
Like it was in Canada and then like they shut it down because there was something about the labeling that said it was something that by Canadian FDA or whatever like wouldn't qualify it for that. I don't know. It was some legal bullshit.
But is it good for you?
But now, yeah, like it's an actual meal replacement. Like it's a scientific meal replacement.
Interesting. So, but you're saying nothing besides Soylent is an actual meal replacement?
Yeah, like protein shakes are not a meal replacement.
No, people treat them like that. But what about like a smoothie?
Yeah.
A smoothie's kind of a meal replacement, right? You're getting a lot of fruits and probiotics and shit. Like, is that not a meal replacement?
Yeah, depending what you put in it, but it's still a meal because you've had to prepare it. Like I'm talking a pre-packaged.
Oh, I see.
Like
Something you
thing.
just open and drink. Nothing's a meal. What about Boost though? I thought Boost was like a meal replacement for old people.
No, it's still like a protein shake.
Interesting. All right. But Soylent is effectively, so the whole idea is it's everything you need in a meal in terms of your carbs, veggies, whatever.
Yeah.
Soylent is all that shit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can we get it in Canada now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of
Interesting.
expensive. It's like $5 each, I think.
Interesting. Is
But
it made?
I mean, if you have
Is it called Soylent because soy is the protein?
no.
Okay.
I
Is
think
soy a protein?
Based off of that movie Soylent Green.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So and of course, and that was the conversation that we had, I think, was that we were talking about Soylent Green is people. So Soylent is the idea that you eat it and it's everything that you need, and then you find that Soylent Green is made out of people.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think we were talking about, I'm saying like with Soylent, the whole idea was Soylent. Anyone hears Soylent and they're like, no, it's people. It's like, no, Soylent Green was people. Regular Soylent was supposed to be something that was good for everybody. It was a derivative or whatever. But yeah, I bought these things because, like I said, snack replacement. Like the idea is you need a quick, maybe sugar or protein
having
fix.
it right after you work out, some protein right after you work out is generally good.
Yeah. Now it concerns me a little bit because these things say to serve them cold, like chill and drink cold. But
oh yeah, no, they're way better cold.
yeah. Well, the only thing is by the time I'm done my workout, like I put it in the car, drive 20 minutes there, do an hour long workout, like this thing's not going to be cold anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had them warm. They're fine. But I think that's when I notice like my biggest hunger is like, and I have to drive when I'm done at the gym. The drive from the gym to my house is literally down Maryville. So we're talking driving past every food fucking chain, fast food thing the way home. So like, I just noticed my hunger level is like, oh, I gotta fucking eat. And I do, honestly, when I was going to the gym consistently, I did a pretty good job of not stopping at any of those places. But it's fucking hard when you're driving by 2 burgers for $5 and you're like, oh, you eat now, $5, so cheap, so good, eat now. And right, you're fighting that with, no, I'm just gonna go home and cook for half an hour. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm exhausted from being at the gym. So I'm just thinking if I have these, but again, $8 off. And the reason I got one of each flavor was just to, try to switch up so you don't get bored, right? It's easy to get bored, but if a different one every day. We'll see how it works. It's Costco though, right? Going back to the Costco promo, it's you can always return any of them I don't like. I'm gonna try each. If I don't like them, cool. But I saved $36, $32, 36, 4 times 8, 36, for 32.
If you spend how much that you normally wouldn't spend.
Well, here's the thing too, is if these end up working as like a snack and delay a meal, that will save money. Like that's how I'm looking at it, is instead of going home and cooking a meal, if I can fire one of those down and then push myself towards dinner time.
Yeah. I mean, when they're not on sale anymore, you could just get a tub of protein.
I don't like it. I find it clumpy.
You need to get a blender bottle. Like that's like you need a proper like shaker bottle.
Yeah, I've got like 50 of them. The ones with the little metal ball in them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have those. I still find them.
Well, how do you prepare it?
I don't know. I put the liquid in first so that when I dump the shit on it, it's not all stuck to the bottom, so that it's floating on top, right? And then I throw the fucking thing on top of it, the stupid little ball that squishes on top of it. I close the lid, right? I screw the lid on, I close the top, and I shake the shit out of it.
Yeah, I know. I do like half the water, and then I put like the protein in, and then I fill up the rest, and then I shake it.
Well, I'll give that a try.
But maybe it's the protein you're buying too that's just crappy protein.
I found this Combat one that was good, and it was like cookies and cream flavor because everything's cookies and cream. At least it's not peanut butter. I'm so sick of fucking peanut butter in the protein world.
Yeah, no, I just get vanilla. Like,
did you get the Vega stuff?
No, the Vegas stuff is gross.
You think so? Well, it's just not.
Yes.
It's just plant protein. Still good for you.
No, it's gross.
No, it's not. It's not good. It's gross.
No, we get actually we get the stuff from Costco, the Kaizen stuff.
Kaizen.
Mm-hmm.
Onesies, write in, contact at onemanpodcast.com. Let us know what proteins you get and what's your way of doing it. I would like to know. I would like any kind of interaction would be phenomenal, guys.
I've never had a problem with being clumpy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also lazy, right? So the idea is like if I have to bring like, okay, so also you did a valid point. With water it works. If you fill your cup, you also can't do it that way though. If you're coming from home with your cup and you're going to fill water at the gym, your shit's already in the thing. Or do you bring it in like a Ziploc?
Or there's like the bottle that I have comes with this like compartment that attaches. So you put the protein in the compartment and like the bottle separately, and then you can pour it in.
Do you have a bunch of these shaker cups?
A bunch? I have 2, 3.
Yeah.
Total.
I
have 2 like that, and then I have 1 that's different.
Because I got like 7 or 8. I was gonna say I'll bring you some more if you don't have enough, but yeah, I try to give them away. I get them faster than I can fucking get rid of them. Yeah, I mean, with water, I guess that works. For me, I tend to do almond milk with my, powders. So for me, I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? At the gym, I wouldn't have the stuff with me.
Yeah, just add more calories.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of water in almond milk. Plus the almond protein is good, right? Isn't there almond protein in there?
No, there's healthy fat in there, but there might be too much if you're drinking too much of the milk.
Yeah, I tend to do like the exact portion that it says. So like usually it's like half the shaker will have fluid. It's not full by any means. So
yeah, well then you don't have like, then if you're doing a full scoop of protein, then you don't have enough liquid. So that could be your problem too.
Well, I do, what I'm saying is I do the portions on the protein that it tells me. So it'll be like put 1 cup or this many ounces of whatever. And I do that and the fucking shaker's half full to like 1 scoop. So like I'm doing what it's telling me. Like if I put too much in, then it'd be like way too watery or thin. And then I'd be like, oh, this doesn't taste like, and I'd be bitching that it's too diluted. But like you said, first world problems. World problems. I came home after spending too much money on protein, and I walked with Simon. Actually, I had smoked a regular backwoods cigar, had a beer on the back porch with Simon. Then he and we did the makeup for the fact that I didn't do my whole walk today. We walked to a place called Crazy Faux You, so Simon could get a sandwich, and that was a good 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back. So I got another hour in today. I got all my steps in. I'm very, very pleased and happy with how it worked. Yeah, so gonna try to build on that. Do something again. Mika's coming over to smoke.
You're winning at life.
Oh, yay me!
Good for you.
I've got a. We'll see. I think the training camp went well today. Basically, I don't know about winning at life. I'll let you know in a few months if we're at any kind of Super Bowl situation. But it's something to build off of. I'm trying not to whatever. It's something to build off of. I'm gonna make something to eat when I let you go, because I did only eat one meal today, and I was hungry a little bit. I is. And yeah, I think got Mika coming over tomorrow. We're going to celebrate his birthday, smoke a couple Cuban cigars. I've got some interviews later this week for that Chromebook thing. So I think I mentioned in the last podcast, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I've heard from them. But I got an email today trying to set up interviews for that. Yeah. So Yeah, we'll see.
You're done.
Yeah. When I drove back from your place, I spoke about doing like a food truck thing for a company. So when I know more, I know what the company is, but they're very secretive about these things until kind of like they pull the trigger. So I'll keep it close to the chest. I don't want to lose the gig for fucking advertising on my podcast that I was doing it. But I'll tell you about it, off the air again in the one man podcast green room. But yeah, I've got
subscribers only.
Exactly. There's good stuff coming down the pipeline. It seems there's work and things like that. So, as the world returns to normal, it appears as do I. Oh shit. And I may as well plug that, I'm going to be doing 2 spots at Absolute Comedy on Saturday. Just little, guest spots where I'm going to try out some of the jokes that, I actually pitched to you and John at the dinner table.
Hooray.
Yeah. So we'll see how those go. I'm going to spend the next couple of days walking and writing. Those are going to be the 2 things that I do. I'll tell you what, onesies, since you guys are my favorites, I'll throw just this one thing I thought about. It's not funny yet, but Red, I'd love to know what your opinion is on this. Just the subject matter. So forget that it's a joke, just the subject matter. You ever say something really nice to somebody like, oh my God, you're always so considerate and you look very nice today. And you're very talented. Like, I'm not saying all this at once, but like, you ever say just like you build a bunch of compliments and you tell somebody them, I always find you to be very, very articulate. You're well spoken. I find you very kind. You're always very generous. Like, you pay someone a compliment and then they turn around and they go, oh yeah, you're kind too. And you're very nice too. Like, they basically just re-gift you your own compliment. Have you ever found that? Have you ever noticed that about people? Is that something that irks you or are you that person?
No, I don't think so.
No, you've never noticed that.
No.
Oh, I've had people that do that, Then you say something nice to them, they turn around and they literally just repeat what you just said. And it bothers me. Because it's like, I just don't say anything. Just say thank you. Don't say, oh, but you're this and you're that. Because it doesn't feel, like I said, it really feels you've put no effort into it. It's like, okay, imagine writing like your wedding vows. And then the other person just, their sheet just says, repeat what they said and add, and to you too. Because it's nothing. There's no effort put in that. Like, I think somebody did a joke a long time ago about phone sex, where one person's really good at, or text sex or whatever, and one person's really good at writing all this shit, and the other person's like, oh, yeah, I do that to you too. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm talking about, is that just like, there's no, like, the complete lack. And like I said, I was talking to Simon about it before we left for our walk, and I was saying, I think that the best way I can think of to describe it is re-gifting a compliment. Where I just gave it to you and you're going to turn around and just give it back to me, or just give it away. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't know. It doesn't feel sincere. But considering it's not something, and honest to God, you've never noticed that in anybody, where you'll say something nice and they just turn around and go, oh yeah, you too. Really? Do you and John don't exchange sweet nothings? You both are very original in the...
No, never.
Okay, fair. All right, I get it. And I forgot to tell the audience that the hardest you laughed all weekend was when we were talking about farts. I think I appreciate that about you. Not that it's like, yay, farts. It's just that you're pretty cool. I dig you, Red. You're a good friend, and I like how down to earth you are. You can laugh about shit,
Yeah. Or the lack of shit.
It's just cool. You're a good friend. I had such a great time. I really did. And I'm so grateful for you guys having me. I'm grateful for all the effort, the getting the guest room ready for me, all the work that you guys did with cooking and prep and trying to plan shit for us to do and whatnot. Just, and honestly, you don't get a lot of vacation, or time to yourself. So, the fact that you wanted to share some of that with me is great. I love the trip and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. We loved having you.
Excellent. See what I mean about regifting the compliment? Oh, it's great. We loved having you. I'm joking. I'm fucking with you. No, that's awesome. So I'm gonna toss to the end onesies. I hope that you guys have a great week. Don't hang up, Red. I'm gonna just a couple notes with you at the end. But onesies, I hope you guys have a great week. It's getting hot out there if you're in anywhere near where we are in Ontario, but wherever you're listening in the world, I hope everything's going good for you. Be safe. I know that my US listeners, you guys are still fucking spiking like crazy with the coronavirus. You know, wear your masks, be safe, all that fun shit. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Red, thank you so much. Before I just toss it, I was going to say, Red, thank you for doing the podcast with me. I'm going to put this in too. But anything you want to say to the world? Any closing remarks that you have? I'll let you end it off.
We want it all. We want it now.
I you know what? I might have to make that the ending song. I didn't talk enough. I was going to do Real Gone if I hadn't used it already. But I think I think I've used it already.
Tribute to Ronan.
Well, because it's almost was cars, and but that's the I think what's the we want it all, we want it now. It'll be one of those two. I don't know what it is at this point of recording, but onesies, whatever it is. I hope you enjoy it. Red, thanks for doing the podcast with me, and we will chat with you guys soon.
Yeah, until next time, everybody. Keep it real.